nanti Bu Endah kan tidak bisa memberikan pembukaan ini karena beliau sedang vaksin. Jadi nanti langsung Pak Hari ya.
Oke.
Oke. Oke, selamat pagi semuanya. Bu Prita, selamat pagi. Good morning Bu Prita.
Oh, ada Bu Prita. Selamat pagi Bu Prita.
Pagi, good morning everyone.
Oh, ada Ibu Diana juga itu sepertinya. Selamat pagi Ibu Diana.
Pagi.
Oh,
good morning everyone.
Good morning Bu Diana. Selamat pagi juga untuk Pak Idris. Pak Idris.
Pak Idris. Halo, selamat pagi Pak Idris.
Pak Idris adalah Kepala Biro Kemahasiswaan. So Pak Idris is the head of the Students Affairs Bureau. So he is the one who is responsible for this club today. Okay. So I think because it is so I think because it is already 9 o'clock, so we are going to start this program.
Okay.
We are live on YouTube, yeah, Ibu Hani.
Yeah, live on YouTube. So this is live streaming on YouTube. Okay. So those who cannot join to this Zoom, they can watch it from YouTube. Okay. So today, as the Master of Ceremony, I'm going to be helped by Keisha. Keisha, good morning, Keisha.
Good morning, Miss.
Yeah, okay. Can we start today? The program?
Of course.
Yes, okay. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the virtual official inauguration of Esa Unggul English Pro Club today, 8 April 2021. Keisha, would you please start?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Keisha.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the virtual official inauguration of Esa Unggul E-ProClub, 8th of April 2021. Today is a very special moment for us because today is the launching of the English Club that we have been waiting for so long. English Pro Club is a place for us to have a professional knowledge and mastery of English. Joining this club, we will practice a lot about English skills such as listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Okay, without any further ado, let's start the program. Ladies and gentlemen, let's sing the national anthem Indonesia Raya, and followed by Mars Esa Unggul. Let's pray that today's program will run smoothly. Prayers will be led by Elisa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Puji syukur atas kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala yang masih memberikan kita rahmat sehat, iman, dan Islam. Semoga apa yang kita harapkan pada organisasi ini bisa berjalan dengan lancar, dan semoga organisasi yang kita bentuk ini memiliki banyak karomah. Marilah kita berdoa bersama-sama. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad. Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad. Allahumma alhimni rushdi min a'izni min syarri nafsi. Allahumma alhimni rushdi min a'izni min syarri nafsi. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir. Rabbi tammim bi khair. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir tammim bi khair. Allahumma inna nas'aluka salamatan fid din wa afiyatan fil jasad wa barakatan fi rizqi wa taubatan qabla al-maut wa rahmatan indal maut wa maghfiratan ba'dal maut. Allahumma hawin alaina fi syakaratil maut wa najata minan nar wal afwa indal hisab. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaitana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmah innaka antal wahhab. Rabbana min azwajina wa zurriyatina qurrata a'yunil muttaqina imama. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Elisa. Now let's welcome the opening speech that will be delivered by the Vice Rector of Academic Affairs, Ibu Endah Murtianasari, STMM. Time is yours.
I'm sorry, Keisha. Bu Endah is still have a other program. Now let's go to Pak Ari. Pak Ari is going to deliver the welcoming speech.
Now let's welcome the speech delivered by the Vice Rector of Students and Alumni Affairs, Bapak Ari Pambudi Eskom Mkom. Time is yours.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ke lapangan membawa kedelai, bawa unta ke tengah gurun. Sebelum acara kita mulai, izinkan saya membawa pantun. Pemandangan indah di dalam kebun. Di kebun memetik buah duku. Kehadiran para tamu undangan kami harapkan semoga sehat dan bahagia selalu. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here today at this wonderful place. My name is Ari Pambudi. It is such a honor for me to speak on behalf of our university. I'm very thankful to you, Mrs. Danielle Barnecker, Mr. Chris, Mrs. Sakdiah Ma'ruf, for taking out of your busy schedule to attend this event. I also wish to thankful to Ibu Prita Suyudi, Director of International Office, Ibu Diana. Let me begin by giving you warm welcome to the virtual official inauguration E-ProClub. Before we get started, I would like to express my appreciation to Center of Language and Culture, Lembaga Bahasa dan Kebudayaan, who generously helped us make E-ProClub come true in our university. Ibu Endah, Vice Rector for Academy, Ibu Heni, Head Center of Language and Culture, and our student. We could not have done it without you. In today's event, I can already see big potential for our students. I hope that through this event, we all get learned to be a good and critical thinker. Well, I do not want to take too much of your time. I need to hand over to our Emcee. Today, Emcee, to introduce our guest speaker to all of you, I would like to say once more on behalf of our university, welcome. It is great to see so many of you here. Naik pesawat ke Banjarmasin, tidak lupa membeli sirsak. Selamat datang para tamu undangan, semoga acaranya berjalan dengan baik. Menanam padi selalu di sawah, meski ada banyak hamanya. Andai ada tutur kata yang salah, mohon maaf yang sebesar-besarnya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Pak Ari. So hopefully that your speech today can be a kind of motivation for the students to learn and to master the English with the help of the coach today. Okay, so what is next, Keisha?
Well, Esa Unggul E-ProClub is a kind of community that will be managed by students under the supervision of Esa Unggul University. So let's meet the students who are willing to be responsible to manage the club. Please welcome Bapak Idris Bekamat Ademkas, the head of the Student Affairs Bureau, who will announce the member of the board of Esa Unggul E-ProClub. Bapak Idris, time is yours.
Baik, terima kasih kepada moderator yang sudah memberikan waktu kepada saya. Saya akan membacakan struktur kepengurusan menggunakan bahasa Indonesia tentunya. Yang saya hormati Direktur Kampus Internasional Gading Serpong Universitas Esa Unggul. Yang saya hormati Ibu Heni, yang saya hormati Bapak Ibu hadirin yang bergabung dalam acara ini. Yang saya banggakan para mahasiswa, mahasiswi baik yang ikut terlibat di dalam kepengurusan maupun tidak. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bapak Ibu dan hadirin sekalian, para mahasiswa, saya di sini akan membacakan susunan kepengurusan komunitas bahasa Inggris yang mana saya akan sebutkan satu persatu mulai dari ketua sampai dengan wakil bendahara. Yang pertama adalah ketua. Nama ketua yaitu Rubika Hinawan Efto dari Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan, mahasiswa tahun akademik 2020. Wakil Ketua yaitu Reja Pami Apandi dari Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan, mahasiswa tahun 2020. Sekretaris Kesa Izati, mahasiswa Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan, mahasiswa tahun 2020. Bendahara, nama Elisa Yolanda, Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan, mahasiswa tahun 2019. Wakil Bendahara, nama Deitania, Fakultas Keguruan dan Ilmu Pendidikan, mahasiswa tahun 2019. Itulah susunan panitia komunitas bahasa Inggris. Sebelum saya mengakhiri, mungkin ada hal-hal yang perlu saya sampaikan kepada teman-teman mahasiswa, khususnya yang terlibat dalam kepengurusan ini. Ada hal-hal yang menjadi catatan utama dalam keorganisasian. Yang pertama, dapat menjaga alma mater kampus. Yang kedua, menjadikan organisasi ini menjadi muara segala kegiatan kampus, khususnya di bidang prestasi, baik prestasi akademik maupun non-akademik. Yang terakhir, menghidupkan organisasi bukan semata-mata untuk hidup di dalam organisasi. Nah, untuk itu susunan panitia yang saya bacakan, mudah-mudahan 3 poin ini bisa dipegang teguh, karena ini adalah menjadi pegangan daripada di dalam keorganisasian. Karena terus perlu saya sampaikan kepada teman-teman mahasiswa, saya berterima kasih banyak. Di samping kalian melaksanakan kewajiban untuk meraih akademik, tetapi kalian juga dapat menyisihkan waktu untuk menjadi garda depan universitas di dalam untuk mengangkat nama baik Universitas Esa Unggul. Itu saja mungkin moderator yang bisa sampaikan pada pertemuan pagi hari ini. Sekali lagi saya ucapkan selamat dan menjalankan tugas. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih Bapak Idris. Yes, Keisha.
Thank you Bapak Idris. Baik Ahmad, ada Emcee. Now let's hear the speech from the appointed chairman of Esa Unggul E-ProClub, Rubika Himawan Efto. Time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On this beautiful morning, we can still gather for the first activity in our new community, English Pro Club. First of all, I would like to thank all the Honorable Vice Rector, lecturer, and guest speaker who have joined us on this occasion. And I also want to thank all my fellow Esa Unggul university students who have also attended this event. Maybe I will introduce myself once again. My name is Rubika Himawan Efto. I am majoring in English education. As the newly appointed chairman, I feel proud and excited to be the part of this community. I hope all my friends will have a sense of pride as me. It is an honor for me to be the first leader in this community. I want the vice chairman, secretary, and treasurer to work well beside me. And also, I need the cooperation of all my friends to work together to develop this community. English Pro Club was formed to learn together, not to show who is the best from other, but we have to try to develop our English skill in here. To be honest, I also cannot speak English very well, but yeah, this is the purpose of this community, which is for us to learn together. So I also hope that my friend don't feel don't feel insecure if your English skills are still limited. In here, we must become one. We can share knowledge, experience, stories, and one of the important things is we must support each other. I think that is the only great thing I can say. I don't want it to take it too long because our time is limited. In essence, I hope we can take as much knowledge as possible while we are studying in this community. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Very much, Efto, for your speech, and then good luck for you are appointed as the chairman of this club. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, students, we are going to hear the welcoming speech from our awesome coach, Ibu Prita Suyudi, and then also from Danielle. And then later on, please also, Chris, I would like also you to introduce yourself, yeah, after this. Okay, now I'm going to let Bu Prita first to give a kind of introduction. Thank you, Bu Prita.
Terima kasih Bu Henny, selamat pagi semuanya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, peace and prosperity be upon you all. It is a very pleasant moment for me to be here today, and I feel very excited as well for the E-ProClub, and thank you for inviting me for today's inauguration, as well as inviting me to become one of the coaches for the club. And Mas Ruby tadi ya, layak sekali menjadi ketua, terima kasih banyak. Sebelumnya saya mengucapkan terima kasih lagi ke Ibu Henny, Pak Idris, tadi sudah menyampaikan sambutannya. Chris, I see Chris over there, and then Daniela, who is probably on her way towards midnight. Thank you for that. Ada Ibu Diana juga jadi dari FEB, Ibu Diana Fajarwati, selamat pagi Ibu. Kemudian nanti ada bintang tamu kita, Ibu Sa'dia Ma'ruf, yang saya juga udah lihat di layar. Kemudian bagi para pengurus E-ProClub yang baru, selamat, semoga bisa menjalankan tugasnya dengan baik. Untuk welcoming speech, so for the welcoming speech today, I would like actually to share something with you all. If I may share my screen, it's just something trivial, but not. Something silly, something to ponder for us to begin with in this E-ProClub. So I hope everyone can see my screen now. Let's ponder something about the Earth population. We are living on Earth, and on Earth we have 7.8 billion inhabitants. Ada 7,8 miliar manusia yang hidup di bumi. And for most people, when we hear this number, it's just a large number. But let's look at how it's disaggregated into percentages. So out of the 100%, 11% are in Europe and 60% are in Asia. The rest, we have 5% in North America, 9% in South America, 15% in Africa. So we are in the 60% of the world's inhabitants. And 49% live in the countryside, 51% live in city. And speaking about languages, 12% of the Earth population or inhabitant speak Chinese, and 5 speak Spanish, another 5 speaks English, 3% Arabic, 3 Hindi, 3 Bengali, and so on and so forth. And 62% speak their own native language. 77% of the world inhabitant live in a home, a house, where they have roof on top of their head, where they're secure. But the 23% other have nowhere to live. How do we live as part of the Earth inhabitant? 20% are charged more. Jadi dari semua inhabitant di bumi, 21% aja yang bisa makan enak dan bisa bayar makanan yang lebih mahal. 63%-nya bisa mendapatkan nutrisi yang baik. Tapi ada 15% yang malnourished. So we have 15% that are malnourished, and 48% daily cost of living less than $2. 87% have clean drinking water, and 13% lacking of this hygiene drinking water or drinkable water. And what about gadgets? I'm sure everyone are tied to their gadgets as if the gadgets are limb to our body. Never leave your house without your gadgets. 75% have cell phones, but not the 25%. And 30% have internet access, but not the other 70%. How are we educated? Only 7% receive university education, and 83% can read. There are still 17% who are illiterate. And we don't live forever. Of course we don't. And only 8% can live more or has lived more to 65-year-old. So in conclusion, this fun data that I summarized from our worldindata.org is that if you have your own house, eat full meal, and drink clean water, have a cell phone, can surf the internet, and went to college or is in college right now or are in college right now, you are in the small privilege lot, 7%. Jadi kalau kita punya rumah, bisa makan lengkap dan lain sebagainya tadi, bisa terhubung ke internet, bisa kuliah di Esa Unggul, kita tuh termasuk yang beruntung, yang hanya 7% dari world inhabitant. Dan kita juga masih hidup dengan sehat, ya. Semoga umur kita panjang, meskipun ada pandemi saat ini. So, what I'm saying is, if we are all that and we are here witnessing the launching of E-ProClub and being a part of Esa Unggul family, so we should be grateful. We have to take good care of our health because nobody cares more than ourselves. And we have to enjoy every moment left. And on top of all that, you are even more lucky if you can follow this talk, if you can follow my presentation, if you can follow and understand what I've been saying, because not everyone has the privilege to learn and to understand English. And imagine, by being able to speak English, imagine the number of books, movies that you can have access to. Imagine the knowledge that we can add to ourselves. So with that, I wish you a great journey in learning English. I know I did, and in fact, I still do. I'm still very much learning English. And stay tuned for international activities, of course. Akan ada 2 kegiatan yang sangat bagus nanti. We will be given the opportunity to enroll ourselves to a scholarship program called the IISMA, which I will be disseminating the information pretty soon. And there will be also a hackathon, an entrepreneurship international competition. This information will be disseminated very, very soon. So stay tuned. I think that's all, Ibu Henny and adik-adik sekalian from English Pro Club. I'm very proud of you all, and have fun at the club.
Thank you very much, Ibu Prita. What a wonderful information that you give for us today. Thank you. And then now let's hear the voice, a wonderful voice from Danielle Barnecker. Okay, Miss Danielle, please.
Okay.
Time is
Hello.
yours.
Oh, can everybody hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot to turn off the clock.
Time to go to bed.
Right. I'm actually a night owl, so I like to stay up late. So this works very well for me. I'm very excited to be here, excited to get to know all of you. Thank you for this opportunity to coach. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce a little bit about myself. Okay. Ooh, there we go. All right. So my name is Danielle Barnecker. And in the picture here is my husband, Michael. We have been married 5 years, almost 6. And we have 3 cats. Nittany is the gray one. And then the one with like the mustache is actually a girl. Her name is Miss Charlie. And then her brother, Scotty. Growing up, I lived in Ohio. And we are home to Cedar Point, which I don't know if anyone likes roller coasters. College in California. Then I lived in Texas for a while, and these are some Texas Longhorn cattle. A lot of cows in America don't have big horns like that, but the Texas Longhorns do. And now I live in Pennsylvania, which we're known for like Hershey's chocolate maybe. And this picture down here is actually my backyard. This past winter, we got a lot of snow. Some of my hobbies, I like to garden. These are all pictures of flowers from my yard. I like to knit. I make scarves, blankets, gifts a lot of times. I also like to read a lot of books, spend time with family and friends, and I like to drink coffee. Some of my personal experiences, I am a native English speaker. I taught math and science for grades 6th through 10th, which is like ages 11 to about 15. I also tutored English in college, and we had adults, you know, we had 16-year-olds all the way up to like almost 50-year-old adults. So I have some experience with that, and I really enjoy helping people. I enjoy helping people learn new things. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to get to know you all, like I said. I'm currently trying to learn Spanish, so I understand the struggles of a new language, and I'm really just looking forward to working with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Danielle. So I hope that you can enjoy teaching the students here at Esa Unggul University, all right? Because they are very enthusiastic, waiting for you. Okay, now once again, thank you, Danielle. And then we would like to hear also from Christopher Cheryl. So actually, Christopher Cheryl has been helping Lembaga Bahasa dan Kebudayaan for every program. So it's been a while that Christopher has teaching here, but now because he is, you are still continuing your study, right? Busy with your study. So he's been studying into university. So he's been very busy. So that's why he is helped by Danielle. Okay, Chris, time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Selamat pagi semuanya. I am happy to once again to speak to many of you. I do see some new faces, and so unfortunately, I do not have a PowerPoint slide to display and to show, but I do remember when it comes to speaking English, as Ibu Prita said, it opens up a world of possibilities. There is a whole world that is open to you when you learn the English language. Whether you enjoy entertainment or reading books, like watching movies or reading books or listening to songs, English really opens your ears and mind to those things. Also, just for general conversation purposes. So if you travel or if you go to another country and meet somebody, English tends to be a connector language. So it connects a lot of people. So for me, as I have attended IPB and Bogor Dramaga for 2 years now, there are many times, because my Indonesian is still very weak, so I campur English and Indonesian in order to make my connections or to make my point. And the only reason I can do that is because my docent or my friends have struggled to learn English or to take on the hardships of learning another language themselves. So I say that because I want to encourage you. I want you to take these opportunities to speak with native speakers such as myself and my friend Danielle, and anybody else that you meet on the street. So the opportunity is here. I'm thankful that people such as your Penny and Ibu Prita and Pa Adi and so many others have created an environment for us to all share and speak English. So I say that also so you may invite friends and tell your friends to join and to come and listen and practice as well. So I think that's about it. A little about myself. I have lived in Indonesia for 2 years now. This is my wife, Dream. She is also very good at English because she practices a lot with me. But she was born in Korea, but raised in Indonesia. We have one child, a son named Shepherd. He is 16 months old now. And let's see, my hobby is working out sometimes. And of course, right now, school, I guess, is a hobby because I am really busy with classes. This week was UTS for Dream and I. So again, I look forward to working with all of you and to talk with you soon.
Thank you, Christopher. Hi, Dream Cheryl. Nice to see you here also. Hi. Okay, thank you, Bu Prita, Danielle, and then Chris. Now, what is next, Keisha?
Okay, before we continue, I would like to remind the students to fill in the attendance. Link is on the chat. Okay, guys, today we also have a very special guest. She is a stand-up comics, public speaker, and interpreter. I'm sure you're familiar with her. You can watch her performances in YouTube. Yes, she is Miss Sadiah Ma'ruf.
Yeah, welcome, Miss Sadiah Ma'ruf. Okay, so before she start the something that is will be very amazing, I would like to read a bit about her CV. Okay, Sadiah Ma'ruf is Indonesia's first Muslim female stand-up comic. Wow. Okay, it's wonderful. She challenges stereotypes against women, especially Muslim women. And then she promotes women empowerment, religious tolerance and dialogue, and also fight against extremism and violence against women in her humor. Okay, she holds master degree in American Studies from Universitas Gadjah Mada, Yogyakarta, with her thesis on Muslim stand-up comedian post 9/11. Must be a very interesting thesis. And then she is a 2 times TEDx speaker, and she received several international recognition for her work, including Vaclav Havel International Prize for Creative Design 2015 and BBC 100 Women in 2018. And then in addition to performing in Indonesia, she also has been performing in Sydney, in Brisbane, and Melbourne since 2016, and collaborated with Australian prominent comedy group or company, including The Chaser. Wow, it's very amazing. She was also selected as the first Indonesian delegate ever to perform at Melbourne International Comedy Festival in 2020. But unfortunately, the festival was canceled due to the pandemic. And then in addition to stand-up comedy, Sakdiah Ma'ruf also works as conference interpreter, talk show host, MC, moderator, and facilitator at various events. So now let's welcome Miss Sakdiah Ma'ruf. Miss Sakdiah Ma'ruf, time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ibu Henny, for such a generous introduction. And now I'm very nervous. I feel like I have to prove myself as an accountability of such introduction. But let me start with expressing my most sincere gratitude. Thank you very much, Universitas Esa Unggul. It is a great pleasure and honor to be able to be here with you and witnessing yet another milestone in the process of learning together with all of the students of Universitas Esa Unggul. So congratulations for the launch of Esa Unggul English Pro Club. If I'm not mistaken, is that the name? Yeah. English Pro Club. So congratulations. And also I would like to express my gratitude to distinguished professors and also lecturers, all the academia of the Universitas Esa Unggul. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. So students, colleagues, friends, everyone attending today's webinar, I would like to share a story of how I first, encounter the English language and how it has been very helpful. It has been very not only helpful, but empowering for me, and how it has been with me throughout my entire process of learning and of growing as students, as teachers, as performers. As mentioned, I work professionally as comedian and also as interpreter, and it has been very very instrumental in the process, in my process, not only in my career, but also in my personal growth as a person, as an artist, as a professional. And I hope that it can also inspire you to learn more, And I would like to also share with you my long, and I think not only long, but also the process that continues to grow and the process that is lifelong learning of the English language. But allow me to start with, I would like to really, before I introduce myself outside of the formal introduction, I would like to share with you a little bit about myself personally, what I do, my family, my hobbies, my interests, and also my story. But before that, I would like a little bit of interaction. Please kindly share on the chat box, quickly on the chat box, why do you want to learn English and why do you find English language interesting to you? Please kindly share on chat box real quickly, why do you want to learn English? Why do you want to learn English and why you think that English is interesting or is important to you? I mean, as mentioned in Ibu Prita's presentations, 12% of the world's population are actually speaking Chinese. And so, yeah. My late father had been encouraging me to learn Mandarin as well, but I didn't get a chance to, and somehow it doesn't, like I don't feel it, and so yeah, please kindly share in the chat box real quick, why? Oh, because I love watching English Premier League. So yeah, oh yeah, that requires a whole other level of English proficiency to be able to enjoy the EPL commentator with the EPL commentator, because it's not only English, it's football, it's really fast, the pace, it's really fast, and it's British accent. So so yeah. English is beautiful. I learn English because mostly international games use English. I would like to chat with foreigners with English. I really love that. To be able to enjoy my favorite shows without having to read subs. I want to watch movie without translations. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that's fun to be able to watch movie without translations. What else? Can you share a little bit more? The main language in the world is to communicate and make it easier to get to know the cultures of other countries. Yes. So yes, amazing reason. I'm so happy to see that you are pumped and motivated. I'm so happy to see that. Now I would like allow me to share a little bit about myself. So outside of the formal introduction, allow me to share with you that I was born and raised in Arab descent Muslim conservative community in Central Java, Indonesia. And just to give you an idea, so this pandemic quarantine is basically my father doing his job. If you are complaining about not being able to go out of the house the past year, there was time when I was not able to go out of the house except for school for 17 years. 17 years, right? So for 17 years until I finally graduated high school and went to college. right? And so if you would like tips on how to survive staying at home, I am your go-to person. And this is a true story. This is a true story. So in my community, women and girls, and this is quite unfortunate, and it happens until today, 2021. So women and girls, their future are decided for them. Ever since they were born, the future are decided for them. I have a friend, my childhood friend from elementary school. She did not, she doesn't do it again. She doesn't do it now. So she was a great table tennis athlete. Right? She was a great table tennis athlete. She was a national champion when she was in elementary school. And what happened to her, as part of the tradition in our community, is that she got married immediately after she graduated junior high. So when she was 16, I guess, 16 years old, and she was brought to Saudi Arabia with her husband, and she at the moment is now expecting her eighth child. Yes, if I'm not mistaken. So we're still, I'm still in contact with her, and this happens to almost all women and girls in my community. To all women and girls in my community. Just last month, my mom received a wedding invitations from one of our neighbors. One of our neighbors. The groom has master's degree, right? If this is just to give you an idea, the groom has master's degree. The bride is not yet graduated from high school. So it's not yet graduated from high school. And this is the reality. And this is 2021. And I said to the groom, you are looking for a wife, or do you want to apply as private tutor? Like, choose better, choose wisely. This is 2021. Like, are you kidding me? Right? And so I was born in such situations. And not being able to go out of the house is a reality. You can imagine only to sitting down in one nice afternoon on your porch. Only that I had my father accompanied me. And basically making sure that I return inside, or I went inside the house before Maghrib time. And that was basically my life. That was basically my life growing up, witnessing my friends one by one, they got married. And don't get me wrong. It's not because they cannot afford school. It's not because they couldn't afford education. I used to say on my comedy stage that most of them are pretty and rich. And I said, I'm neither pretty nor rich, so my parents sent me to school. And so my parents sent me to school. And my father supports my educations with so many conditions. I wish I have a lawyer to help me negotiate. Like, I can go to college, but I'm not supposed to go out after class. I'm not supposed to participate in any students' organizations. I am not supposed to speak up. Most importantly, I am not supposed to get to know anyone from the opposite sex. I mean, I was surprised. we're coming from conservative Muslim family, Dad. I'm not supposed to get to know anyone from the opposite sex. I didn't know that you're such a great supporter of lesbianism. And it's like, yeah. And those are some of the things that I share on stage as a reflections of how I live, or how I use of how I used to live. And so I had a lot of free time. I had a lot of free time at home. I had a lot of chance to just explore without, without having to go outside of the house. I mean, my father passed away several years ago. If he lived long enough to witness the pandemic, he must, I believe that he will be thrilled to know that her daughter can work, school, doing I don't know, doing masters, doing PhDs, performing, doing shows, etc., without moving out of the house. And so without moving out of the house. So that was the kind of situation, that was the kind of situations that I grew up in. So if you mentioned that you want to learn English because you want to speak to foreigners, you want to learn other cultures, this is for professional reasons, etc. I learned English to survive. I learned English to survive. It's part of it's part of how, and all of your mentors speaking earlier, all of your mentors are right, are correct. I learned English. I learned English as a way to escape my world, my small, exclusive, contended communities that really do not give as many space for women and girls, especially as many space for women and girls. So I started to, pick up English as something that helps me, as something that helped me see outside of this tiny little box that I was contended in, right? And so I started with watching sitcoms. I grew up watching Full House. If anybody's on my age range, I grew up watching Full House, and Full House was really the type of ideal family that I have in mind, that I couldn't get at that time, that I couldn't get because of the situations in my community and how I was raised, and I grew up watching also Seinfeld, which was completely different, and I grew up watching a lot of family sitcoms. One that gives me, one that inspired me the most was when I started watching Roseanne. When I started watching Roseanne, and when I realized that there's actually on another part of the world, so across the ocean, you can have a very strong women mother figure, very strong women mother figure that really, leads the family, that really has something to say, and that really has a mind on her own, and that really, control the family, and how she moves forward with herself and with her family, a very strong matriarch, so to say, a very strong woman and mother figure that inspires me. that inspires me very much. And so if I would like to share one tips for you, first tips, one tips for you on how to improve your English. You are lucky that you don't need to learn it as as part of your survival instinct, to survive, and to you can learn it happily as part of getting to know the outside world, as part of way to connect and everything. But I think what I learned from having to live for 17 years and more in survival mode is that you do something that comes naturally to you. You do something that comes naturally to you because you don't have in a survival mode like this pandemic. If you feel like, think or reflect through the pandemic. So living in the pandemic makes you feel like you are in a survival mode, And in a survival mode means that you live one day at a time. You live one day at a time, and you don't expect much of yourself, because you don't force yourself too much, because then it will affect your mental state. For instance, you just live and survive and stay healthy and do whatever it is that you can. And that was my life in the past. Sama banget kehidupan saya di masa lalu, pada masa kanak-kanak saya, itu sama banget dengan kehidupan di masa pandemi ini. Saya yang hidup di lingkungan, dibesarkan di lingkungan masyarakat konservatif Muslim keturunan Arab di Jawa Tengah, ya, itu menjalani hari-hari sama seperti situasi pandemi ini, kurang lebih, minus ancaman kesehatan, ya, karena setiap hari juga tidak bisa keluar rumah karena aturan dari orang tua. Setiap hari juga tidak bisa keluar rumah, tidak bisa melakukan banyak hal, ya, tidak bisa melakukan banyak hal, hanya survive saja gitu, bertahan saja, dan hidup dalam kondisi bertahan. Hidup dalam kondisi bertahan itu kan akhirnya kita tuh nggak banyak bisa eksplorasi, ya, nggak banyak bisa keluar dari diri kita gitu. Hanya ada keseharian saja, saya bangun pagi, sarapan, sekolah, setelah sekolah tidak bisa belajar yang lain, kembali ke rumah dan sebagainya, sehingga yang tadi saya bilang, dapat sesuatu tuh, tipsnya tuh, ya, dapat sesuatu yang comes naturally gitu. Ketika saya berkenalan secara alamiah, karena nggak bisa tuh kayak teman-teman saya, oh saya kepengen belajar bahasa Inggris gitu, ya, saya kepengen belajar bahasa Inggris terus les gitu, nggak bisa keluar rumah gitu, nggak bisa keluar rumah, pergaulannya sangat dikontrol. SD saya dulu juga sekolahnya di madrasah, yang orang tua saya semua kenal gitu dengan orang tuanya dan teman-teman saya dan sebagainya. Jadi nggak bisa tuh saya punya keinginan belajar bahasa Inggris gitu. Nggak kepikiran. Saya punya keinginan belajar bahasa Inggris, terus saya kursus. Teman-teman saya itu lulusan kursus bahasa Inggris yang terkenal pada saat itu, LIA gitu-gitu, ya. Itu nggak sama sekali. Nah, bahasa Inggris akhirnya menghampiri saya di tengah karantina. Di tengah karantina, when I was growing up gitu, bahasa Inggris tuh menghampiri saya, comes naturally to me, sehingga saya bisa menyarankan ini sebagai tips bagi teman-teman yang mau belajar, itu do something that comes naturally to you. Ya, do something that comes naturally to you. Saya bahasa Inggris comes naturally to me, bukan naturally as native speaker, ya, tapi menjumpai saya melalui tayangan-tayangan televisi. Kemudian saya awalnya ya kayak escape gitu ya, kayak masa pandemi ini pada nonton drama Korea sebagainya gitu, tapi kemudian saya menemukannya sebagai cara berkomunikasi yang lebih ekspresif dan sebagainya. Saya menemukan diri saya di dalam gaya bahasa yang sangat berbeda dengan gaya bahasa yang dominasi, yang otoritatif gitu ya. Yang diterapkan di keluarga saya tidak hanya belajar bahasa Inggris akhirnya, tetapi saya belajar budaya yang lebih terbuka. Saya belajar budaya yang lebih egaliter. Saya belajar budaya yang menghargai komunikasi orang tua dan anak secara setara gitu, equal. Ya, jadi akhirnya English comes naturally for me. Because not only because of the language, but it introduces me to the spirit of freedom. Right? So it introduces me to the spirit of freedom, to the spirit of equality, equality between parents and children, equality between men and women. And those are something that I grew up aspiring, sorry, forgive my pronunciations. Yes, aspiring, some kind of canned food. So those are some of the things that I grew up aspiring because of learning the language. So tips number 1, do something that feels natural, not comes naturally. Do something that feels natural for you. Do something that feels natural for you. Do you like to listen to podcasts? Start listening English podcasts. Not necessarily English learning podcasts, just some random English podcasts. NPR is one of my biggest recommendations. And all different kinds of NPR's podcast series. You can have politics, you can have culture, you can have comedy, you can have NPR Life Kit has helped me a lot during this pandemic. If podcast is something that feels natural to you, then go into that direction. If comic books are something that feels natural for you, go into that direction. So if music is something that feels natural for you, start with music by turning off the lyrics feature on your Spotify. And so it can be very, very helpful. And you can know exactly, the words, the vocabularies, and everything, but it will not be helpful for you to pick up or understand spoken English, because then you are accustomed to read the lyrics. And that was the luxury that we didn't have back then when I was growing up. And so I grew up also taking notes of song lyrics, and learning from that as well. So that's number 1. Number 2, based on my experience, thinking of English as something that is part of my survival. So it's also good that that if you understand a language, if you understand a language, it will be helpful to also understand the culture where the language comes from. It will give you a bigger idea, and I don't know, for me it's a bigger motivations. That was why I was so amazed with your mentors' introductions. I didn't know, and at this age, I didn't know that Hershey's are coming from Pennsylvania, and so I didn't know that. I know Hershey's. We all know Hershey's, but but you know, and I've been learning English my whole life, and I've been soaking up to American culture, American popular culture, working as stand-up comics, watching all the comedies there is, and yet today is the first time I know that Hershey's are coming from Pennsylvania's. And so those are some of the things that I pick up as well, learning English. So I didn't learn English just to master the language. I learned English through Roseanne. I learned English through the idea of equality, of democracy, of egalitarianism, of humanity, of, you know, some of those things. Some of those things. It is similar. It is similar, sangat sama dengan, it is similar with the way we acquired, our native language. It's the same. It's the same with the way we acquired our native language. Bayangkan, kita belajar bahasa ibu kita itu tidak hanya belajar kosakatanya, tetapi belajar keseluruhan tatanan yang hadir bersama dengan bahasa itu, gitu. Yang hadir bersama dengan bahasa itu. Bagaimana kita diajarkan misalnya untuk pertama kali nih ya, diajarkan misalnya untuk menyapa kakek nenek kita dengan baik, dengan sopan. Itu bukan hanya kosakata gitu. Itu bukan hanya kosakata, tapi itu a whole idea, a whole cultures, a whole structures, a whole systems that will inspire you to learn more and that will lead you in your process of learning. So that's number 2. Try to also sort of acquire, and then acquired itu doesn't mean that you have to practice the culture. Yeah, we have different culture and then apa. But just to acquire the spirit of the language, the culture, where the language coming from. It's dan English language comes with different cultural backgrounds loh. English language comes with different cultural background. I acquired English. Or should I say I acquired American English when I grew up ya, sampai sekarang through comedy, through CNN, CNN News dan sebagainya. Tetapi saya lebih banyak mempraktekannya karena kesempatan berkomedinya itu lebih dekat, lebih banyak mempraktekannya di Australia. Yang berbeda gitu, yang berbeda cara hidup gitu ya, berbeda selain beberapa kosakatanya juga berbeda gitu, berbeda cara hidup, berbeda aksen, berbeda budaya dan sebagainya, dan that's really how you connect with language. Ini just me sharing my experience ya, karena saya juga tidak secara spesifik guru bahasa itu. Kemudian yang ketiga, what I can share with you is don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. Karena kita merasanya itu kita butuh, kita butuh les misalnya. That's great. Kita butuh club activities seperti ini. That's brilliant. Because we need friends, we need mentors to continue to encourage that. Tapi don't limit yourself hanya di aktivitas-aktivitas yang kamu ikutin aja. This is what I learned. This is what I pick up from traveling. Yeah, this is what I pick up from traveling. So I've been, unfortunately, I've never been to the U.S. That's unfortunately, yeah. So I hope that I can go as soon as this pandemic is over and when opportunity comes. So, tapi this is what I learned from traveling for public speaking, for comedy. I've been to Australia many times, and to Europe, and to Middle East as well. And I do what other tourists may not do. I do what other tourists may not do. I have this habit of collecting newspapers and brochures from all of the countries that I visit. Like I came home from Australia, for instance, so a couple of years ago, I came home from Australia with 2 luggage, right? 1 luggage of dirty laundries and oleh-oleh. Yeah, some gifts, souvenirs, 1 luggage, and 1 extra luggage, filled with what other people consider as sampah. Filled with, so in Australia, in Sydney and Melbourne, there's always this public spots. This is what we didn't find, that we don't find in Indonesia. Yeah, there's always this public spots filled with like theaters, brochures, music shows, free magazines, and things like that. Free postcards, calendars, public informations, train information. So I went to the biggest train stations in Melbourne, and I just collect everything that people would just read and throw to the garbage can. And I went home with piles of brochures, of restaurants brochures, of train, jalur kereta api ya, kalau di sini jalur KRL gitu. Of just train schedules, of theater performance, of music performance, of free magazine filled with advertisings and coupons, like restaurant coupons. And I return home with all of that. Also newspapers that I receive daily at the hotel. And those are souvenirs that I cherish more than the actual souvenirs of keychains and things like that. That is my idea of don't limit yourself. I went to international conferences working as interpreter, same with Ibu Prita, working as interpreters, and I went home. And I went home with piles of brochures and reports from random international organizations that they usually distribute. At they have usually they have, you know, volunteers that distribute their brochures, yeah, at international organizations, and I cherish those. And I read those. Every single one of them. And that is my idea of you know, this whole world is a playground and a school. This whole world is a playground and a school. I know that most of us, when we read brochures, we just, oh, okay, so this is the information, done, we throw. At my home, I have boxes and boxes and piles that my mom considered trash. Because those are irrelevant. Those are not books. Books you save, right? No one saves brochures. No. Well, not many. I cannot say no one. Not many people save brochures, but I do save brochures. It gives you, you know what you can learn from brochures? Yeah. Kalau ini untuk kebutuhan belajar, kerja gitu. You know what you can learn from brochures? A very specific informations that you cannot get anywhere. You cannot get anywhere else. You can pick up many restaurant vocabularies. You can pick up many theater, music shows, vocabularies. You can pick up copywriting style from like all those advertisings, and you can also pick up cultures. You can learn so many things from brochures, and it can enrich your vocabularies immediately in the ways that are completely different than books. Completely different than books. And for practical purposes, if you like brochures, you will be very good at some parts of IELTS test. Right? Because some parts of IELTS test introduce you to like listening sections on giving directions, restaurants, infos, and things like that. It's like nothing will go to waste if you're talking about learning. And this makes I think makes me come to my my last tips, which I get from traveling, but not only from traveling, but from meeting people from different parts of the world because of my work as juru bahasa or interpreter, is exposure. Just soak up as many language and culture as possible. So it's related to the never limit yourself. Never limit yourself. So exposure. Don't just, if you like popular culture, you can start with that, but never stops on that. Go explore, I don't know, documentaries, go explore just some other learning materials that you can get, even from promotional brochures from toko. Again, I'm talking about brochures because I collect so many brochures and reports from international organizations. I know that I've been working with brilliant interpreters all across Indonesia, brilliant interpreters, and doing conferences in many parts of Indonesia. I know for sure that I am one of the very few, if not the only one, that return home with piles of reports and flyers and informations from different organizations organizing exhibitions at the forums, at the international conferences. I did not remember my interpreter colleagues. I did not remember many of my interpreter colleagues do that, and I went home with like 2 bags, 3 bags. Like this is for first day of conference, and then second day of conference. I just pick everything up and study at home and make clippings. And why? Because again, so first tips is do what feels natural to you. Picking up brochure is something that feels natural for me. And do what feels natural for you. Don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. And exposure. And also try to pick up the culture as well as you pick up, meaning learn about the culture as well. That will enrich you, or that will help you to also use the language better. Use the language better. And I hope that it's helpful and useful, and looking forward to have more discussions with all of you. And again, thank you so much. Thank you to all the English mentors of the English Pro Club. My gratitude, and I honor, I'm so happy that I can learn from all of you as well. Great honor. So thank you so much. Back to you, Ibu Henny. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Sakdia Maruf. So I think we all agree that her experience that she told us just now is very, very exciting. The way she learned English, maybe it is very, very, sorry if I say a bit peculiar, because she learns English by compiling lots of trashes, right? Okay, so I think it is a very, very interesting to know that, because usually we learn English by watching movies, and then by listening to songs, by reading novels, but she did it by compiling trashes. Okay, so it is not, maybe we can try to do that later on. If the pandemic over, then let's travel and then let's do the same thing as what she did. Okay, now I'm sure there are lots of questions that all the presents here would like to ask Ms. Sakdia. Because the time is very limited, now I only allow one questions to be directed to Ms. Sakdia. Now, if you are willing to, if you have question, please unmute your mic and then ask the question. Only one, please. And short question. Anyone? Yes?
Oh, and very sorry for taking too much time for the talk,
Okay.
Ibu Henny.
No. Okay, one question. Hello? No? So
I just have a general comment.
Oh, okay, Chris. Okay, please, Chris.
Yeah. So thank you for your wonderful presentation, Ibu Sagdia. So I can actually, based on the shows that you watched, I can kind of guess your age because I also grew up watching Roseanne or The Cosby Show or Full House.
I'm 39.
And Seinfeld. 39. I'm 36. So I knew exactly how old you were based on the shows that you watched. So I encourage a lot of people as well to watch sitcoms, to watch TV shows, so that they can pick up on slang, metaphors, idioms, and a lot of those types of things. So I think when you hear some people mention Big Bang Theory or How I Met Your Mother, you know, those are shows that a lot of people have watched in university today. And so whenever I can hear those sitcom names that you gave, I was like, oh, I think she is about my age. I'm sure Danielle thought the same thing too whenever she heard you mention it. So yes, I'm sorry, just a general comment. Thank you again for your talk.
Thank you very much. Great honor to meet you, Danielle and Chris.
Yeah,
Okay,
nice to meet
thank you
too.
very much. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Miss Sakdia. And then I'll go back to Keisha. So, Keisha.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Alia, for sharing your experience to us. Now let's see another performance from the student of Esa Unggul University, Christian Dwi Putra from the Faculty of Computer Science, who had participated in English speech contest and have got the second runner-up. This is his performance.
or had speech or the other
So have you seen the, what is it, the video? Not yet?
Not yet.
No, we couldn't see it.
You couldn't
Yeah.
see it?
It was like gray screen.
Gray screen. Now what about this now? Okay, now what about now? So sorry.
We can see the screen, but there's nothing video.
What about now? Can you see the video?
Still.
No, I think you have to unshare your screen and just share the actual application.
Okay.
Not the whole screen, but
just the video.
Just the video.
Just the video. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Keisha, maybe because some technical problem, we can go to the next program. What is it? So sorry that we cannot play the video. That was the video of the students of Esa Unggul who has been participated in the English speaking contest, and then he won the second runner-up. Yeah, so that is the national competition, and the student won the, what is it, the second runner-up. Okay, now Keisha, what is next actually?
Okay, guys, as we know, that in Esa Unggul University, there's also another club, Hungary Korean Club, where students can learn the language and culture of Korea. Here is the performance from Hungary Korean Club.
Okay, so hopefully this time we can see the video. So let me share the video. Sorry. Can you see also the video here? No?
No.
No.
I think it has something to do with your connection because you were frozen the whole meeting.
Yeah.
Your face was frozen
okay.
too. So.
Yeah, okay. I'm
unless
so
you want
sorry.
to send, unless you want to send the video to us and we can share it, since we have a very good connection.
Yeah, okay. So I'm so sorry that we cannot play the, what is it, the video. So actually in Esa Unggul, there is also another club beside English club. We also have a Korean club, that is Hungary Korean Club. And then there are lots of activities that we have done here. Also Korean clubs that is done in the Esa Unggul weekly, and then they learn the language, and then they also learn the culture, the culinary, and so on. So we also have a kind of festival that is done once a year. So hopefully these English Pro clubs under the coach of Danielle and then Bu Prita and then also Chris, we can also do the same thing also. There will be also kind of a presentation and then competition also for the English club. Okay, so I'm so sorry that we have technical problems with the video. Now I think let's go to the next session. Keisha, what is it?
Yes, before we end today's program, let's share our deep condolences for the natural disaster that occurred in Ntt recently. Ormawa Esa Unggul will raise funds from all of us to be conveyed to the victims of these natural disasters.
So I hope that you can see this. So recently, Can you see the screen here? The picture? Yes.
Not yet, ma'am.
Okay, so I think that is a kind of problem again. I cannot share any screen here. Okay.
Oh, something starting in your computer.
Yeah, so it's now. Okay, so sorry that we have this one. Oops, not this one. Yes, so this one, recently in NTT, Nusa Tenggara Timur, there is a kind of disaster, natural disaster. And then Esa Unggul would like to raise a donation to be delivered to the victim of this, victim of the natural disaster. Okay, so next, Keisha.
Well, we have come to the end of today's program. We would like to thank the Vice Rector of Academic Affairs, the Vice Rector of Students and Alumni Affairs, Ms. Sadiah Ma'ruf, who is willing to spend her time with us. Also to Ms. Prita and Danielle, who are willing to take the time to get acquainted with all of us. Now, before we really end it, let's take a picture together. Please open your video. Okay, so please turn on the video, guys.
Are going to take pictures. Keisha, can you help us with taking the picture? Bu Natasha?
Yes, of course.
Yes, can you help us?
Yes, of course.
Taking the pictures. Okay.
Okay, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Wait. It's only page 1.